AI art making real art a joke? Because at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure now everybody's an artist, everybody's a creator, everybody's a director, producer, because you just only have to do some prompt. And when you do those prompts, you become just an artist after just prompting, writing something on your computer or cell phone, smartphone device. And then you can create a picture, can create emotion, movement, image, picture, like a video. Can generate that. Just in a matter of 30 seconds or a minute or two. So what is that? Can we classify that this really artistic creation? I'm pretty sure that whoever does it benefits because they're getting money from it. If you want the best AI, you have to pay $10, $20, $100 to use it for 6 months or so. And there's the price to it. So when it comes to music, I've listened to AI songs and they're nice and they are very wonderful. But the pain is this. There's something wrong with that. Not because it is nice, but because majority of the AI music tends to sound very much like a human, but at the same time, it's too polished. It's too polished, too clean. There's something that misses there, that humanistic nature. Whether you say that humanistic nature is a boy, is a girl, it's too computerized. And when it sounds very hologramic. At the same time, it sounds very, very artificial, as they say, AI. So I'll say AI really does make art, but I'm not sure that I can call something that was prompted art because it uses past art from people combining just 100 to 1,000 to 1,000,000 elements of artistic writings, artistic creations, films, movies. For example, it will take generally a year to shoot any movie, particularly if it's a blockbuster movie, 1 or 2 years. Whether we talk about the big franchise like Star Wars, Star Trek, DC Comics, Marvel Comics, creations such as Batman, Superman, from any comic company which is now a studio. Then tell me that someone can say that they are creating some art just by prompting. And just by prompting, they're creating art. And they can just write it. And as they write it, it comes out as a thing that is created. What really is sad is that majority of the creation that they've been making all this time is quite very similar to what you see from all websites or internet sites, whether you want to look into YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or just TikTok. It's been copycating it. And people have been prompting doing that, and it appears like they're doing it. But the issue is this. What copyright is there if someone is going to create any image that looks like a real human being? Can that person own someone else's copyright? Because with AI, you're just copying someone who produced something 10, 20, 30 years ago. So I'm not against it, but I am disappointed that it is all about pest and copy, and then just add some salt and sugar onto it, and then it appears different. Maybe that is art. Maybe that's artistic. It really does have some art into it. But I think in the past people were angry when it came to the issue of pop art, what art was. But the band ended up accepting pop art, but it took nearly 20 years to accept pop art because no one was quite accepting pop art to be art. And now we have AI generated music. And what makes it painful is that there was someone who was charged with the crime of copying and imitating some artist, and the person was charged with that crime, and that person went as far as to collect more than 10 or 8 million United States dollars from producing fake music and then collecting royalties of that fake music, and they paid him. And I think that's something that is really very, very, very painful for human beings, because even the people that are known to be top class artists, like the very best of the people that are quite popular in this day and age, they're also complaining because they see it as infringing artistic rights, because anyone can write something and say a song was created by so and so, and then put the picture of the artist into that that song, and then upload it to any music streaming website. Yeah, and upload it to any music streaming website, whether you're going to put it at Spotify, Apple, Tidal, all those platforms. And then by so doing, after 12 months, collect some royalties and say you produced it. So that is the thing that I have a concern on, because I'm pretty sure they're going to come to accept it. But I think people always shun this stuff because it doesn't sound right. It's not sounding quite like the real thing. It's very much copycatting. And of course, musicians could be held accountable if they were copying someone else's song. And nowadays, they do that. They either take the instrument, change it a little bit, then sing onto it. And people just take off their head and say, they're doing it. But for me, I don't think that's creativity. I mean, well, we might say it's creativity, but I think it's making creativity a joke, because it's a joke now. It's become a joke that people are artists, and that is what is sad. But well, there's the future that people are living in now. The future of AI. And that's what people say is creativity of today. Copying other people's works and saying that they have done something with them. Yeah. Someone copies or someone imitates Michael Jackson, and that is art. And that is very sad. Whatever we can say about that, that is disappointing. But that is what people think is art today. It's AI. And my opinion is that I don't see it as really art, because I think it's false art. I think it's just insulting creativity. I think it's also taking down human values, because at the end of the day, this is theft. How can you take someone else's song that they've sung for the past 10 or 20 years, and then you call it your new song, when that person took something like 10 or 20 hours making that song for 1 or 2 days or 3 days, and then you take that song and then you just mix it, just in 1 minute or 3 minutes, then you call it your song. Then you call it art. That's AI. They say that. Photocopying, copycating, yeah, pasting and copying. And that's the art of today. It doesn't matter who you are, black, white, blue, green, yellow, American, European, African, Asian. And it's sad because the Chinese establishments, they don't give a damn about that. I think in the West, it's much better because there are laws which have to be respected when it comes to creativity. In the United States, in Canada, in France, in Germany, in Spain, in Italy, in United Kingdom, in Europe. But the pain is China, because China, the laws don't apply there. International laws tend to be ignored in China. The Chinese do what they do for their own liking, for their own desire, and that is what is painful, because majority of the applications now are adopting a Chinese system whereby they are copying the Chinese way of copying things, like stealing intellectual property from anyone who has produced artistic rights, and they just steal them. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be very much a lot of lawsuits against those Chinese companies in Europe, in Belgium, in Netherlands, in France, in Germany, in the United Kingdom, in the United States. And I think it's going to be very much challenging for those guys. But who knows? Maybe they're gonna escape by paying money and asking for some collaborations with those guys, because you have other companies collaborating with big studios like Disney, like Warner, collaborating with the AI companies. So maybe they're going to do that. So that's sad. But for artistic work, it's also even sad and sorrowful, because art itself has to be respected. You cannot just imitate someone and then you call it art. Maybe. I'm not sure with you. But for me, I think art should be respected, should be honored, regardless of what we call art, as long as it's human creativity, because it's all about a human being creating art. And that's what art is. And I leave it to you to ponder in your thoughts what art is. Because for me, I say AI is making human creativity a joke.